Good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster. Welcome once again to another Simple Man's Rant in wrestling. It's been a little longer with school and work and figuring out stuff as I try and figure out what I'm going to do with this channel next as I approach my 1 year anniversary. But here I am once again, and this week I am going to discuss everything I have seen since October 6th up to today before AEW Dynamite. So basically, this is from October 6th to October 15th because I haven't watched any wrestling yet today. Let's go ahead and get started. So we kicked off Hell in the Cell. I thought Hell in the Cell had a tremendous opener. Becky and Sasha took tremendous bumps and really was bringing the best out of each other. Why Sasha left in defeat. I don't know if she was crying tears of joy or tears of disappointment. You look at her special on the WWE Network and she's glad that she's a heel now and she's glad to do what she loves to do again, like she's found her passion. We'll see what's next for Sasha. And it looked like Bailey had a breakdown, which could have led to maybe her finally going heel at this time of writing. We wasn't sure. And then we had the main event, and they were trying to make everything seem like a nightmare coming from hell, except without projections. From the eerie red lighting to the fact it stayed with the cage that was already red, it was overkill red. But then they pulled another fucked up angle. All right, I gotta get something off my chest. When does a Hell in a Cell end on a freaking DQ? Under no circumstances should Hell in a Cell end unless there's pinfall or submission in the ring. Simple as that. They didn't end the match when Mankind got thrown off the top of the cell and we thought he was dead. They didn't end the match when Triple H was spewing blood after Batista jammed a sledgehammer into his throat. They didn't end the match between Shawn Michaels and Triple H when they were brutalizing each other for over 40 minutes. They didn't end the match when freaking Big Show, Shane, and Vince McMahon were going against DX, getting brutalized to the point Vince went up Big Show's ass and then took a sledgehammer to the back of the neck. No, they all ended somehow pinfall or submissions, decisive victory. This was a load of crock shit on a very mid-range pay-per-view that was going to give a C, but I dropped to a D. And the only good thing about this show was the opening match. But I digress. And apparently the crowd was in heavy agreement too. Heavy boos, refund, restart the match. And despite Wyatt taking over 7 curb stomps and hitting everything Seth did with him with chairs and ladders, sledgehammer and tools, and even headshots, I thought WWE don't do that in the concussion policies. In the end, The Fiend, he still lost, but he left, I guess, looking strong because Seth had a blood packet spewing from his mouth after getting the mandible claw. But in the end, I think that this ruined The Fiend and stifled his creativity, which appears it might have been like 4 years in the making, according to my friend Eric. Go read his thoughts, by the way, on his channel. Reality Entertainment. Great stuff. Me and him do a collab every week on the Wednesday Night War. Anyway, yeah, that was Hell in the Cell, and they basically ignored it going into Monday Night Raw, where the only thing going on here was Rusev's wife cheating on him. And this was the Raw before the draft, by the way. But before that, let me go on a positive note. So I actually watched New Japan Road, which of course was hyping up King of Pro Wrestling. We had Okada and Ibushi versus Sonata and Evil, 4 top tier people that should be on the Wrestle Kingdom cards we were building towards our Wrestle Kingdom main event. We were also celebrating Tanahashi, who's been 40 years now in wrestling. I thought it was a pretty good show, and the ending was the same as Fighting Spirit Unleashed. Anyway, back to Raw. What happened on Raw that I can remember? Honestly, I don't remember a lot because Raw has become a little bit irrelevant lately. I guess they had Tyson Fury with open mic. The men were hugging each other at the end of the night, and that got the most views. I guess sports goes over. I'm passionate on sports. I could not care less. NWA Power finally premiered, and I must admit, I am new now to studio wrestling, but I absolutely love it. The fact that the action is focused primarily on the competitors, the wrestlers, literally putting themselves over, talking passionate promos, seems like they aren't scripted, no, fireworks, no music, just straight up action and storytelling, back to an old school format. Tim Storm had an incredible match against Nick Aldis in the main event, and now the biggest angle out of this show was, hey, clickbait, Camille, you got something to say? I feel like the biggest angle right now, they'll probably save till later, as we'll get into the next week's episode, is that Camille will finally speak. But anyway, I thought this was really great. Eli Drake, Nick Aldis with incredible promos, great opening action. Jim Cornette and Joe Gani, they do a great job. I think it's commentary, and I love the theme and nostalgic retro vibes to this. Everything about NWA Power is classic wrestling. If you're looking for classic wrestling, this is where you go to watch it. Moving on from there, AEW Dark had their first premiere, and it was literally tag showcases about all these incredible talents, introducing some that you didn't see from AEW Dynamite. And as far as that first episode of AEW Dark goes, I thought Darby Allin and Cena had the best match. Personally, it was a fast 10-minute Meteora speed versus a technical wrestling style, and Darby Allin in the end, he won with a coffin drop, which seems to be his ace in the hole. Both men looked incredibly strong here, and again, wins and losses matter, and I cannot tell you how much I admire that. Also, though, the women, they need to get the crown the more. I thought Allie, my personal favorite, yay, Allie, and Britt Baker, baby, they had a great duo tag match against Bea Priestley and, of course, Emi what was the match? Oh, yeah, Emi Sakura, excuse me. My apologies. It was Penelope Ford, excuse me, bad girl. It was a pretty good match. Introduced Penelope Ford, bad girl, first match under the AEW banner. And in the end, Allie Britt Baker won, but Britt Baker looking the strongest here, and her submission falling in line with her career using a real mandible claw. I thought that was brilliant. And then you got Luchasaurus and SCU, Jurassic Express. They had a great closer. But I feel like the 8-man kind of just went all over the place, and the ref lost all control. I don't know what happened to the 10 count or legal tags, but all 8-men looked strong, or excuse me, 9, because I think the most overman that match was Orange Cassidy. But as far as building towards the next episode, talking about the first episode, giving you more wins and losses and really showing you what these wrestlers are capable of, I thought AEW Dark was pretty darn good. Moving on from there, we go into AEW Dynamite, and this is where Jericho basically shut down, pipe bombed WWE Creative, and introduced his faction, the Inner Circle, which was one of my favorite things of that entire night. He shut down We the People. That was a stupid idea, but bad creative. It is dead now. And we get the ending angle with MJF. We don't know what he is anymore. He's still incredible to me, but apparently they're really pushing the idea. He's Cody's friend, but he still doesn't give a damn about anyone else, as we saw him being the Elite later on. But yeah, I thought that AEW Dark episode was pretty damn impressive. I mean, again, they highlighted the opening concepts and the Young Bucks putting the new up-and-comers over that they recruited, Private Party, in what was probably my favorite match of the night. And then, of course, we get Jon Moxley and Shawn Spears, and now we have Pac and talking about his displeasure, and we're building towards Omega versus Moxley at Full Gear. Very good storytelling, in my opinion. And then we also learn now this was the tag match: Rico and Britt Baker, Bebe versus Emi Sakura and Bea Priestley. Just set Bea Priestley versus Britt Baker for a freaking AEW Women's Championship at Full Gear, because I feel like that's the money match. No disrespect to Rico, who had a major ovation, by the way. And of course, Riho, it was Teacher versus student as she faced Emi Sakura. By the way, shout out to Freddie Mercury. Somebody love. Classic music. I like Queen. There, I said it. Anyway, Bohemian Rhapsody is my favorite. I thought this was a really good tag match. The women looked very strong here. And as far as the rest of the show, pretty darn good action all around. Crowd scene red hot, but I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes we still learn who some of these people are. You can tell that some of the crowd doesn't know who some of these people are, but it would develop over time. Orange Cassidy still seems to be the most strongest thing over. Moving on from there, though, we go into NXT, and this was literally about hyping up somebody has got to go. Walter versus Kushida being the main event of the night. However, we get more fallout with Undisputed Era's prophecy at risk by many factors, including but not limited to Finn Balor, Ciampa, and now Velveteen Dream, who basically insults his manhood, Roderick Strong's manhood. Incredible promo. Velveteen Dream and MJF right now, there's the war between the top two promos and characters, I think, in each of these promotions. And Ciampa punches Garza. Whoever speaks Spanish, maybe you can tell me what he said. But again, these are brief highlights. You want full highlights, please follow Aftermatch Wrestling and listen to the General Jerry Slaughter and Stephen R. Osborne, the Wizard of No DQ, rated R reviewer, as they review NXT every week on What's NXT. As far as AEW Dynamite goes, please stay tuned for me and my friend Eric. We will be continuing our coverage of the Wednesday Night War. By the way, both shows, they went down this week in viewership and ratings, but AEW still won. So AEW is still looking strong. This really makes me wonder if they are going to pull Full Sail out, NXT out of Full Sail. I guess only time will tell. NXT UK, it was highlighted, of course, by as we build towards a tag team championship match between Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster versus Gallus. And then, of course, we have Kaylee Ray calling out Tegan Nox, an incredible main event. We also have set up for Chastity Garrett versus Rhea Ripley, it feels like. I'm basically talking about 2 weeks at once. Because the thing about NXT UK, it's under the WWE banner, but it's kind of like out there on its own. I don't know if that's a strength or a weakness, you know? And again, Jerry and Stefan, they do great Dallas reviews. Please watch the Tea Party. Okay, let's go into SmackDown. Let's talk about this draft. This draft was so stupid, and it tells me they're going to be a Raw Card 2.0. We'll get into that later. But anyway, they literally leaked the draft and basically went in order on the draft from the website. And there was really nothing special about this show. I mean, you had the Fiend on SmackDown. He get the mandible claw on Seth. He peeks out in the ring, tries to take him to hell. And then he goes to the entranceway. Boy, break and run fast. What else happened on the... Oh, yeah, there was one highlight of SmackDown. Bayley has fully gone heel. Not only did she come out in her hoodie, and she had the smile and the Bayley buddies, but she takes the hoodie off and like, oh, this is a different hairstyle. And then she picks up stuff from behind the Bayley buddies and destroys them. So Bayley has finally gone heel for the first time ever, full heel in her WWE career. This can only bring promise, and so far it has, as she is once again now the SmackDown's Women's Champion after beating Charlotte with a roll-up. And then she calls us all bitches and screw you. So, again, I think the word bitch is overused in WWE. I don't think that's a lot of merit and power, but coming from Bayley, that's one word I don't think I would ever hear her say. So, kudos so far on the heel turn. Don't screw it up. By the way, those that compare her to Tessa Blanchard's playbook, not close. I mean, the gear seems similar, but let's be honest. That was just a coincidence. Tessa Blanchard is a leader in the women's wrestling scene right now. Suppose that. Anyway, yeah, this draft was predictable. 205 Live is back. They had great two matches, as now we got a new faction between Lee Brian Kendrick and Mike Kanellis after Lee Brian Kendrick beat Akira Tozawa with the help of Mike Kanellis in a no DQ match. Support no DQ, folks. And then there was a great opener. Once again, as the 1-2 connection, Birch and Oni, they took on Nice and Gulak. Gulak, of course, coming off his loss from the Cruiserweight Championship match. NXT Cruiserweight Championship match, on NXT. That was the other highlight of that show. That was the hot opener, too. I can go into a rant about that, but I'll do that another time. And then that was it, actually. It was just a two-match show. RWI had a squash match. Impact Wrestling, we are on the road to Bound for Glory. And Melissa Santos gets pile drive by Sami Callihan while Brian Cage is handcuffed. How much does Brian Cage want to kill Sami? How much is attitude exists in Impact Wrestling, it seems? And Alicia Edwards, I guess Ace Austin still wants to try and sleep with her. And now we're getting Eddie Edwards versus Ace Austin in Prelude to Glory coming very soon. Glory by Honor happened for Ring of Honor, and the only thing I truly cared about was that honor was restored for the women's division, and thankfully it happened. Thank you, Maria Manic. Kelly Klein is now 3-time Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Thank goodness Beautiful People 2.0 don't rule Women of Honor anymore. Angela Love, she put on an okay match. Mandy Rose got involved. Then Maria Manic torture racked her off. She booked her in half. But anyway, Glory by Honor was a great show. We also learned now it'll be Rush versus PCO, as it was a villain, all-out villain final in the Ring of Honor Final Battle #1 Contenders Tournament. And Marty Scurll used everything under Villain Enterprises, including Brody King and Flip Gordon. But it wasn't enough. PCO won. And I am very happy to see this for a number of reasons. First off, PCO, he's over 50 years old. This is his rebirth, okay? He could potentially become the friggin' Ring of Honor World Champion. Marty Scurll has a chance after chance after chance to try and go for the title, and even had title matches for it. But I feel like he says all his friends is dead. I think all his friends are elite. We know Marty Scurll's contract is coming up. I really feel like he's going to go to All Elite Wrestling. Now, do they necessarily need him on there? I don't think so, but you can't deny the facts. And again, Glory by Honor, another awesome show. Silas Young faced Bruce in a championship match and got destroyed by the Horns. Bully Ray, he's still attacking Lifeblood. Ridiculous, but What's funny is Velvet Sky has not been involved in this much lately. Is she injured or something? I don't know. Weird. Then we go to the highlight. King of Pro Wrestling. Let me just say this. This is how you know this promotion is fine the way it is. And the NXT product should follow their ways as far as creative booking and superstar building. So, we start off, of course, with Young Lions being under the tutelage, wing, and tag team partnership of Legends in tag previews. We also get tag previews as we hype Jay White versus Hiroki Goto for the IGP Intercontinental Championship. And it looks like Kenta and Tomohiro, they are nowhere near done with each other. And that was just the undercard, folks. Let's get into the main card here. Juice in front of Live from Minoru Suzuki was everything I would hope it would be. It was a match on violence, technical wrestling, and in the end, who wanted it more? In the end, Minoru Suzuki, you can't go against the king. I did. But Minoru Suzuki, he won after basically folding up Juice in front of Liger. It was Battle Liger, by the way, involved in this match. And after this, though, here's where you know that wrestling is 100% pure and real. Afterwards, we look like he was going to hit him with a chair. Minoru Suzuki bows to the fallen battle Jushin Thunder Liger that he beat in respect. And afterwards, when Liger gets up, he says, Suzuki, thank you. That was the moment of the night for me. Now, let's get into the match of the night for me. Zack Sabre Jr. ELP. Now, I also want to say this. The card actually was changed because of a typhoon that destroyed the New Japan Wrestling Dojo and affected everybody as far as travels go, to the point we didn't have Zack Sabre Jr. on the show, and Jon Moxley had to relinquish the IGP United States Championship. So instead, a couple of tag matches were changed from 6 to 4 men, and the U.S. title was basically declared in a vacant match between Juice Robinson and Lance Archer, that we'll get into shortly. But this show knows how to solve a problem, come up with a plan B that's not filler, and still actually makes sense and leaves you wanting more. And I'm sure Jon Moxley is super upset about this, but never say never, who knows? Anyway, getting back into the show though, ELP, Zack Sabre Jr., we learned about ELP sending out a very emotional tweet about the dojo because he and Will Ospreay, they have tremendous ties to that dojo. And it looks like ELP is literally going to give him a one-on-one match in this title match because he was going for Will Ospreay's IGP Light Heavyweight title. But, you know, Bullet Club, ELP, eventually those came into play. For tactics from scratching the back to raking the eyes to even Tashimura getting involved, Robbie Eagles getting away from ringside. And this match had everything to it, including callbacks to former Bullet Club leaders like AJ Styles, like Kenny Omega. It was bloody brilliant. A match that was truly about Will Ospreay finally trying to beat ELP, which he's been able to do since ELP's New Japan Wrestling debut, and ELP being virtually unstoppable and saying he's going to complete the trifecta. And it did not happen. Ospreay finally did it and retained his title in what was an incredible over 20-minute bout. If you guys respect cruiserweight wrestling, if you want to see how a rivalry should end in a pure wrestling match type environment, go watch this match. Simple as that. Following this, we get the U.S. title match between Juice Robinson and Lance Archer. You could tell Juice Robinson, besides the new attire, he was going in here with a different mindset because obviously he wanted Moxley. He did not expect to face Lance Archer. Lance Archer, though, he's been a guy who's been impressive since the G1 and keeps saying everybody dies. Well, he finally made Juice Robinson die as chairs were thrown everywhere. There was a blackout onto a stack of chairs. There was the everybody dies claw that gave him the victory in the end. After the blackout wasn't enough, Lance Archer was about to explode. And even Kevin Kelly and Gino Gambino and the Japanese announced team were at risk during this match. And by the way, Gino Gambino talking some trash to Will Ospreay. He got a little involved, incoherently, in the IWGP Light Heavyweight Championship match, but thankfully, it did not change the result. Anyway, Lance Archer, he finally gets gold. He is now the United States champion. But David Finlay returns, embraces Juice, and helps him fend off Lance Archer. So obviously it looks like we know what our first feud is. It's going to be Lance Archer versus David Finlay for that title, it seems. You could tell how distraught and disappointed though Juice Robinson is. He not only did he wanted to win this title, he wanted this to be against Jon Moxley and beat him. That's what it truly was about. But I feel like there's still bright things in Juice Robinson's future. And then we talk about setting up the Wrestle Kingdom main event as we had Evil versus Kota Ibushi and Sonata versus Okada. Evil is truly incredible. He left everything out there, but in the end, the Golden Star survived everything Evil threw at him. From the kicks to the lariats to the near everything is evil to darkness falls. It was not enough to keep the Golden Star down. The Golden Star took not one, but two Kamagoyes to finally beat Evil and finish his run in successfully defending his certificate, beating all opposition that formerly beat him. And then we go to our main event, Sonata versus Okada. Not only does this match is their longest bout probably between these two, but it was very technically sound, and it looked like so close, Skull and it was going to give Sonata the victory. But somehow, some way, Okada survived, and of course, one Rainmaker, practically near 40 minutes in this match, finally put down Sonata, who basically just was in the ring so disappointed, so distraught, just wondering why, what else could I have thrown against him? What can I do to win? And of course, Okada, he gave him the ring. He gave him tremendous respect, the thumbs up, and he says, Sonata, let's do it again. Then he calls out Koda, but Koda imposes that I want to be 2 belts. So I was wondering if you mind successfully defending your title against me after I already go after another title. He's like, no, you're not going to do something before me, Okada says. You're going to main event the first night of Tokyo Dome with me one-on-one, and then he later proclaims that he is going to leave with 2 belts. So again, the theme for Wrestle Kingdom this year, coming up in January. Someone wants to leave with 2 belts. Intercontinental and Heavyweight? It seems like the most obvious choice here. As Taiji says, I'm going to do what you couldn't do, Naito, after beating him in a tag preview from earlier. The tag previews do have some story to them, folks. But yeah, this show was everything I expected it to be. If you want to look at real wrestling, professional wrestling, and get an idea of what Wrestle Kingdom is going to offer you, please go and watch this show. All right, let's go ahead and get into the other half of the draft. Monday Night Raw. Guess what? I didn't watch it. I was so sleepy and burned out that I looked at highlights, and I'm glad I did because, again, the Raw was 90% predictable draft. Let's just call it like it is. These sports cameos, I don't know any of these sports-based people, and the only thing worthwhile is they try to do 205 Live between Buddy Murphy and Sir Alexander when they give them 5 minutes, though. What a waste of their talents. And also looks like they finally gave Viking Raiders these tag titles, but tag wrestling's irrelevant in WWE, as you know, because Vince does not care about it. Lana, Bobby, yeah, that's still going. And I guess they signed the contract between Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman. Whoop-de-doo. And apparently, Seth found his way to the Firefly Funhouse, even though it's supposed to be on another realm of reality, and destroyed it and burned it down, and that was the end of the show. Yeah, I could care less. Moving on. NWA Power this week. It once again continued its momentum as they highlighted some of the highlight tweets from celebrities, WWE and beyond, and some YouTubers that highly praised the show, and they brought it again. And I love how they titled this episode Clickbait, based on one of the last words Nick Aldis said last week after we were trying to get words from Camille, which led into a theme for tonight's episode as they were trying to show us an interview between them, which they did in their entirety. But before all that, there was a bunch of interesting surprises. First off, this place is all about respect in pro wrestling, okay? Ricky Starks, young up-and-comer, he may seem heel, but he went up against the veteran Trevor Murdoch and beat him. Clean and simple in the ring. And Trevor Murdoch's like, you beat me. You were the better man tonight. Wasn't my night. Mad respect. I hope to see Lance Cade somehow involved in this somehow. Maybe Lance Storm, man of integrity. That'd be pretty cool. Following that, tag preview, Colt Cabana. Of course he's going to be involved in this. He was the former national champion. He had a tag partner. Yes, Mr. Anderson. Anderson is involved in the NWA. I love this tag team. I sense it's going to implode eventually because we know how big of an ego Mr. Anderson is because, well, he's an asshole. Just all as I see it. But hey, they won in their tag preview with a mic check. It looks like also the former Damien Sandow, Aaron Rex, whatever the hell you call him. He is also now involved in the NWA, but he has one key rule. Don't make eye contact with him. I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. I really like the NWA roster and what else they're bringing so far, and I hope to learn more and more about some of these people and see more nostalgic wrestling acts be part of this as well. Speaking of which, the women's champ was in action, Allison Kay, who invited her friend, I forget her name, Vox, I think, something like that, for a NWA women's title opportunity, non-title, but could have led to an opportunity. And she had a strong showing, but she lost. It looked like Allison Kay did some sort of sunset driver move for the win. But in the end, she gave her respect, and it was, very impressive. Then there was a tag team title bout that just descended into chaos as Homicide and Kingston, you might remember them as the New York faction from Impact Wrestling, New York in the house. And then Wild Card came into play as the champs, but then we also had this other team, I forget their name, that came into play, just destroyed the match. The match descended into chaos. So I don't know what happens now. Triple threat, maybe? It's very interesting. We also get a very interesting promo between James Storm and Eli Drake, where it looks like it's mutual respect, but also a warning. I am coming for your title because you're actually the next man in line to challenge for the MWA 10 pounds ago because you have that title. And James Stern's like, this title's a prop. So I'm going to be curious what they do with the national championship. Just saying. And then we go to what ended the show. Not a match, but the interview itself. By the way, that place about waffles and tires, I want to go there. So Joe is finally interviewing Camille and Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis basically proclaiming the fact that, look, you saw what happened all in. Cody used interference to beat me, so I hired an insurance policy to ensure that wouldn't happen. But think about this. In these other matches that I've defended my title in, including Marty Scurll against Crockett Cup, which is really my first real exposure to NWA, Camille was going to get involved. What'd I do? I sent her away. When other times Camille seemed like she's going to be involved in my matches, I sent her away. So tell me, has Camille been involved at all in my championship matches in ring-wise? And to this credit, he's right. No, she hasn't. And which kind of deterred the question that Joe was getting at. But again, Nick Aldis, he's going to do that. And it looked like Camille was finally going to speak, it seems. Nope. Are we done here? Yeah, we're done. That was the end of the show. Just make it plain and simple. Go to YouTube and watch NWA Power, folks. You will not be disappointed. It is awesome. And we also learned now they're also going to do their first pay-per-view in December. And stay tuned, I will be doing predictions on that. And it will be called Into the Fire, ironically, in December. So stay tuned for more on that. AEW Dark, there's one match you just need to figure out from this week. Kenny Omega, Joey Janela, unsanctioned. While unsanctioned matches do not count for your stats of wins and losses, they can definitely prove a point and serve a purpose. As Jordan Elliman pointed out at one point, you can't beat Moxley. You can't beat Moxley. And these guys used everything. Steel, wood, well basically that's some of it. Ladders, steel chairs, tables upside down, even to the point that Kenny Omega went through a table suspended between the ring and on steel steps while it was upside down. I'm surprised that steel didn't cut either person's back. Vicious V-triggers and knee strikes during this match. Everybody left everything out there. Joey Janela falling on the top ends of steel chairs, rearranging his back, leaning eventually towards the finish with a warming angel on another chair. Kenny Omega wins an incredible match. Go watch it. I can't wait for next week's AEW Dark. Well, Taz will be on commentary as I prepare shortly for AEW Dynamite 30 minutes from now. Also, the Super Junior Tag League Power Struggle Tour is now going on, and I'm still sticking by my win out of these 8 teams. I want the Birds of Prey to win. We shall see what happens, and stay tuned. I will be doing more simple coverage on that. So, that's just a brief stance on my recent run in wrestling and what I've watched, as I prepare now to continue watching Power Struggle, but tonight it's all about the Wednesday Night War of AEW Dynamite and NXT on USA, and I'll watch NXT tomorrow, as I am with AEW tonight, because we got 2 title matches. Man, these AEW Dynamites almost feel like a freaking takeover, it seems, every week with the amount of matches they show and the way they use their 2 hours. Very well done so far. But of course, both shows always deliver. Wednesdays rock, Tuesdays are awesome now. Simple as that. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say for now as I prepare for AEW Dynamite tonight. And no disrespect to Rico. I hope Britt Baker wins, but I sense Bria's going to get involved. And the Painmaker, by the way, will be back tonight, all the way from NJPW, against Darby Allin in a Philadelphia street fight, as Chris Jericho defends the AEW Heavyweight Championship against him tonight, which will likely be in the main event. Also after that, Taz will be part of AEW Dark, so look forward to that next week. It will be great to hear his commentary for who knows what matches we'll see. And more. And Keith Lee, Dominic Javit, they got the rubber match coming up. We'll see Tegan Knox in action and Ciampa, Edgar Garza. We got some stacked cards with both of these shows once again. I do hope the ratings viewership goes up for both. Well, that's all I have for now, so thank you for everybody that tuned in. What are your thoughts? What have you been watching in the wrestling? What you want me to talk about watching wrestling, let me know. And if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me, follow this simple YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Noah Foster210. Or follow me on Twitter @InFoster1916 or NoDQ.com/Noah. I talk all things wrestling. Simple as that. Support independent wrestling, support WWE for the good. Support AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, support independent wrestling, folks. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom World, NWA Power now, and of course AEW Dark. And stay tuned, I'll be doing predictions later on this week for Bound for Glory. We'll be doing 205 Live Matters. And as I approach my 1-year YouTube channel anniversary, next weekend, I think I will do a live version of this and also a live Q&A. Tell your friends, let me know what you want to ask me, anything wrestling or non-wrestling. Thank you for all who have given me over 4,000 views and 93 or 4 subscribers at this point. Anyway, stay tuned, of course, more to NoDQ, because the reason I'm in YouTube. Buy a shirt, buy some merch, NoDQ.com/merch. Make a friend, make an enemy, attempt to troll virtue. Follow their social media platforms. Come vote in the NoDQ awards. And I do not care about Crown Jewel. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, both big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that, thank you again so much for tuning in. What are your thoughts on everything I've said? What have I missed? What should I talk about? What do you want to ask me about? Let me know in the comments again. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit a friend, tell a friend. Hit that bell to know when the next video will go live. And thank you for tuning in and listening. And until the next video, whether here, somewhere else on YouTube, or in the Cyberverse, because I will be doing, of course, Wednesday Night War Roundup with Eric again this weekend, as well as a Wrestling Rundown coming up soon, going over the NJPW King of Pro Wrestling show. And I also will go into an independent wrestling show next week, and I will be doing simple predictions on that as well this weekend. Go, if you haven't gotten your tickets already and you're in the Northwest Ohio area, Extreme Chaos Wrestling, get your tickets now. Until the next video, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Enjoy some good wrestling. Find wrestling you will enjoy. There's so many possibilities. And until next time, I hope you all have a good night.